contact with the higher self. You only believe in what resonates with you. You didn't open this book by chance. First off, there is no such thing as chance, at least not in the sense of an accident or a coincidence. Einstein noticed this too when he said, "God does not play dice with the universe." Everything arranges itself according to a specific pattern, with reasoning far more complex and precise than what meets the eye. In fact, what is visible is only a fraction of what truly exists, which we refer to as the universe or God. Interestingly, for Einstein, these were not the same. Let me introduce myself and what I offer in this book. This book was meant to be written, and I was the one destined to write it. I've always known that I had an important message to convey to humanity. I always felt this book needed to be written, but I didn't know what I was supposed to write about or when. Deep down, I also knew that when the time was right, or, better phrased, when I was ready, the message would reveal itself to me to be shared with you all. So here I am. Why should you trust me? You shouldn't. Trust yourself instead. If your self and your consciousness resonate with what I share on these pages, then my mission is accomplished. There's a story of a Buddhist monk who said, "If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him." The first meaning is obvious. Don't blindly accept everything you hear and beware of false prophets. Another more profound meaning is that Buddha, if met on the road, would never impose his teachings on you. Those prophets who sell their words as the ultimate truth often care only about their own profits, pun intended. There are many ways to channel messages from outer consciousness, spiritual guides, and your subconscious. Unknowingly, we do it regularly. While many receive messages through dreams, an increasing number can communicate with something higher than themselves even in their waking hours. Some engage in automatic writing or spontaneous image downloads. Others meditate and regress themselves to a trance state where their brain no longer blocks the messages. No particular technique is superior. It's about finding what suits you best. I found all the answers within myself, a capability I've probably had forever. Even in my early childhood, I could somehow know and understand things that no one explained to me. This unexplainable knowing, which some call wisdom, was something I couldn't imagine living without. For that, I was teasingly nicknamed Little Buddha. I was often lonely, sensing a deep and inconsolable isolation, like being a foreigner unable to speak the native language, always feeling like an outsider. Throughout my life, I often felt like a stranger, both figuratively and literally, until I finally found wholeness and comfort in the answers. After many years, and especially after the COVID pandemic, I was upgraded and shifted to a level where I could communicate as I wished. Everything just started flowing to me, unfiltered, unconstrained by time or place. It's like conversing with someone wonderful, open and generous, someone much more advanced but immensely patient and loving. It is the observer as referred to in quantum physics. Madame Blavatsky famously referred to the higher self as Atma, the inseparable ray of the universe and oneself. My higher self has also given me her name, Nam. Most of my communications with Nam are dialogues. I ask a specific question, or a series of questions, and Nam provides answers and relevant information. Some answers are more detailed than others. Nam doesn't refuse to answer, but sometimes the responses are brief, leading me to believe that some aspects are withheld. I sense this is due to my limited capacity to understand certain information, or perhaps to avoid interfering with the future. I've often inquired about various things and why they are as they are. So much about this reality seems nonsensical, with events often lacking rhyme or reason. If you are like me, don't be discouraged. Seek the answer with all your heart and mind. All the answers are apparently already within you, as I have been told. The more I communicated with this higher consciousness, the more I became convinced that everyone can do the same. You see, my self-doubts inflicted by an abusive childhood were a major roadblock to my communication with my higher self for a long time. However, once I consciously removed that block and immersed myself in understanding my own boundless wisdom, the calling to share my knowledge became an eternal fire. The passion of loving generosity, the eagerness to translate this superb energy into words, and the desire to organize the information into easily comprehensible sections became my everlasting pursuit. We can all perhaps relate to the story of Moses and his struggle with self-worth. He was far from perfect. He betrayed his adoptive Pharaoh family, had communication challenges due to a stutter, and committed a crime by killing a man who abused a Jewish slave. In our earthly judgmental view, he should have been condemned and shamed into invisibility. Yet the gods saw his worth from a higher perspective and entrusted him with the fate of an entire nation. This is my mission. We, as a planetary collective, are at a crossroads. We are at critical moments in our history. We need to make conscious decisions about our future. Many of you will ask, how do you know this? And most importantly, how do we know what you are telling us is true? The answer is simple. You won't know. Not until the time comes to see the truth and become a living part of it. Seek the knowledge through your heart, not a mind loaded with skepticism, programmed by the selfishness of a powerful few. Remove your roadblocks of self-doubt and doubt about the knowledge you are receiving. The hardest part is trusting what comes to you and integrating it into your mundane life. If you are inclined to seek answers and perhaps even feel brave enough to peek behind the veil, enjoy the journey. You are allowed to go anywhere you wish. Remember the famous rabbit hole? How far down do you wish to go?